What's the crack?
What's going on? Divil a bit, just hanging out.
Yeah, I can't believe we actually have a second episode. I
I
know we
know
said
the
we
first
would, but
one.
I didn't believe
No, the
it.
first one. A lot of people were excited about it, so I'm really stoked. Some new, fun, and exciting things to talk about this time. David, what do we have on the docket for today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about David Blaine being at D23 and the new show that he's got coming out as well. A bit about that. We're also going to talk about the crazy thing that happened to Craic recently, which is absolutely fucking mental. There goes the demonetization. And then lastly, we'll be talking about what's probably going to be one of the biggest products of the year that came out, which is Liquify by Tobias and Murphy's Magic. So they're the three things we have this week. Everybody seems to be on good behavior except for one person. So we'll see from there, and we'll go into it. So I guess we might as well hit the big firework exploding intro again. Boom.
Michael Bay, that shit.
I don't know how to. How did I make that happen? I thought I just did one of these or something.
It's happening.
That was
There
quite
you
good.
Oh, and before I forget, we didn't do this last time, but anyone that's watching, you might be watching this in two different places. So you have O'Brien Magic, that's me, and then you have these two gents here, Deceive Reality Ireland. So if you're not following one or the other, make sure you go and do that because there's some awesome stuff going on over there. So
Share,
get that out
and
of the way since I
subscribe.
forgot last time.
There you go.
Hit the notification bell. What did the other YouTube people say? We'll get it all right.
Yeah, whatever they say, do that.
That'd be great. So the first thing we have on the thing today is David Blaine being at D23. So, Michael, do you want to give a bit of a description of what happened for those people who aren't aware of it? It's all on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so D23, for those that don't know, it's basically a big convention that Disney puts on every year. It's in different places every year. Well, this year they had it at the convention center in Anaheim, right next to Disneyland. And for those that don't know, I work at the magic shop at Disneyland, and so I had a lot of people coming in. And I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those people that doesn't really pay too much attention to new Disney stuff that's coming out, or everyone's talking about this and that. But a lot of people were coming in and they were excited about David Blaine. He has a new deck of cards out. It's like a D23 specific deck of cards. And the thing that everyone was talking about was he did a magic trick with these. And it was really interesting listening to all of the different laymen coming in and telling me what the magic trick was. And then I saw a video of it, and it was really interesting just how they reconstruct in their mind what they think they saw, right? So a lot of people were telling me, oh, it was crazy. He did this, this, and this, and this, and then this happened. And I'm just like, so what you're telling me is he did a cut deeper force? Right? And I'm thinking in my head, okay, he had to have just done that. And then, maybe a riffle force or something. So he did two techniques, and that completely blew people's minds. But, it's the choreography and the amount of thought that goes into it to be able to make it happen. And basically, in a nutshell, what the effect was, I don't know if is there a video floating around somewhere?
I saw it on YouTube, I think. I think.
Okay, we'll link it. We'll link it in the description so you guys can go watch the video after you're done watching this. But in the description, we'll put the link there. But basically, what happened in the video was he had everyone grab a deck of cards and he said, "Don't crack the seal yet. We're going to open them during the show." So everyone had this deck of cards, and what he ended up doing was he ended up having them go through the cards, take out a random card, put it underneath their seat without looking at it. And then he had a spectator come up. He did, the thing where he riffles through the cards. He says, "I just want you to see one of these cards. What card was it that you see?" They say the name of the card. He goes through and he finds the card, but then it's the wrong one, right? Like he screwed up the trick or whatever. And then you had the Queen of Spades, right? No. I had the Three of Hearts or whatever. I think it was the Three of Hearts. And he's like, "Well, look at the Queen of Spades very closely." And it was the Queen of Spades holding the Three of Hearts. Mm-hmm. And then he had everyone reach under their seat and pull out the card that they put, and everyone was holding the Three of Hearts. So it was a really cool little piece of magic, pretty much 100% self-working for the most part. But my favorite thing about it was just hearing the layman coming in and explaining what they saw, because what they explained happened wasn't necessarily what they saw in the video or what we
Yeah.
watched on the video. So I think it goes to show that a very powerful performance, even if the methods themselves are simple and, you know, a cross-cut force or, you know, a little bit of time misdirection or something like this, these elements all put together can really make a really powerful performance if it's scripted in the right way. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I just think it was the volume of people that made it incredible. You know, everyone was like, "Oh, it's the same, it's the same," and you could see the reaction from the crowd when everyone had the same crowd. You know, that kind of ignited the fire of like, it's impossible. You know, but it looked great. I mean, very clever thinking. You know, David does very simple and direct magic sometimes really, really well. There's probably no one does it better. You know.
Yeah, it's when you're watching as well as it shows how simple it is. 'Cause there's also some clips of him on like the red carpet doing interviews and stuff, and he was doing some magic, and it's like he's doing ambitious card with the folded pop-up move, you know, and it's like it's the same stuff from his first special, but people just lose their minds, and it's a bit like I guess it's a bit like a famous singer singing their hits that like he does his hits, and that's what like gets it going. But it shows that like sometimes we can overcomplicate magic so much and just something so simple can floor people, except for the people who messed it up. Because, like, how'd you mess that up? I don't know,
Yeah.
but sure, growth goes
Yeah,
to you.
it's one of those. One issue I've always had with magic that's very procedural is it's like, all right, so what I want you to do now is I want you to roll this dice. Perfect. Now I want you to take those numbers and add these other numbers together. Okay, great. Now I want you to take that final number that we got and convert that into a letter, right? So now you're thinking of a letter. Cool. Now I want you to take that letter and I want you to count backwards from the original number that we had. And it's like all of this just to get them to think of the word elephant, right?
Oh
And
my
it's
god,
like,
how did you do that?
That was
yeah, and
crazy.
so with
He
the
should have been.
more procedural it is and like the more drawn out it is, I feel like it takes away from the effect. I thought that this performance was just procedural enough
Yeah.
that it didn't go overboard, but I feel like had he tacked on an extra bit, like I don't know. Oh, and then all the other cards are blank or something. I don't know, like extra stuff like that. I feel like it would have been too much. So I think that it was just the right amount of now I need you to count these many cards and put them under your chair. I don't remember how he arrived to the number. He arrived at a
What
number somehow.
what I liked about it as well is he was like cut, you know, the cut deeper. So he had the first part of the cut. Did anyone match my card? Oh, a few people cheered, and he was playing it off like, let's see, can we match 3 times, kind of thing, which I thought was clever. I think he got to the number because when he did the cut and the cut again, he got to a point, and then he was like, give me a number between 1 and 5, and then they counted out that many cards in the
That's what it
pile,
was,
and
yeah.
they got to, or whatever it was. I only saw it once, but I don't know, but like
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever, and like the TV show that it's. I know this is just like a publicity thing just to announce the show, but the show looks incredible. Like I think if you like magic or if you like travel documentaries or if you don't like magic but you just want to see unusual stuff, I think it's going to be a winner right across the board.
I don't know anything about it. You want to elaborate? Is it like a Disney Plus thing or like what is it?
What I saw just from the trailer, it just seems to be him going all over the world and meeting these incredible people who do almost like, you know, quote unquote real magic and like these phenomenon type things, or you know, stuff in tribal, you know, ceremony type stuff. That's what it looked like in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then David gets to see it kind of firsthand, gets a bit of history about it, and then at the end of that episode, he tries it himself, or the end of the season, he tries it
Yeah,
himself
it's
or
going to
whatever.
be on
So
National Geographic.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Disney owns National Geographic, so that makes sense
Yeah.
why
It'll probably be on
why
Disney Plus
they
too, because
debuted
I
it.
think
I would
Yeah.
imagine. I would imagine it'd be
Geographic
plus as
section.
well. Yeah,
Which, yeah,
but it's
I
cool.
think it's going to be like each episode he goes to meet someone and learns how to do what they do, type thing. Which is
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
yeah, it should be really cool. I think there was like some clips of him doing like street magic along the way as well, that sort of thing, just to
Sure.
get a bit of it in. But yeah, the trailer looks really good. So it should be a good show.
Yeah,
I
link the
remember in one
trailer.
of his.
People haven't seen it, I guess.
Sorry, Steve, one more time.
We can link in the trailer here if people haven't seen it too. But
Yeah, we'll drop a bunch of links below for you guys so that you
like
can
David,
watch
what David
us
said.
finish this video first.
Yeah, don't leave.
I think it was one of his early street magic specials. He went to another country, people, and he showed them like
Yeah.
he did like coin matrix, but with like leaves and rocks and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That was
So
awesome.
like it'd be kind of interesting to see a follow up to that years later, where he goes, learns some of these customs from these other countries, and then reverse engineers his own way of making them think that he's doing what they taught him, but he's using like a magic method. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
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 and what I like about it as well with the just going back to the performance he did on stage as well, that was really good with that for anyone who wants to do that sort of like Joe. There's a trick where everyone rips decks cards in half or whatever, and or something similar to what he did. How clearly he gave instructions for each step as well was something that I thought, because even for as a magician, you know what he's doing, and you're like, oh, do you really have to explain it this much? Like people get it, but
you
they don't.
definitely do.
Even like how much he went through it. Some people mess it up, which you're always going to get because,
Yeah,
like, I think like even people can mess up taking the cards out of the box and drop them and scoop them back up and start over. So, Joe, like that stuff's going to happen. But I think it's a great lesson for anyone who wants to do a fully interactive trick. Is just to watch how clear and precise his instructions were for the people to get that
yeah.
level.
You know, like a lot of people in the audience just took them out of the box straight away and shuffled them without even being fucking asked. You know.
Yeah, or left a few cards in the box because he did even say, Joe, make sure you've taken out every card. But if
Yeah,
you've left
drop
one,
a few.
you've taken it and you might put it on the bottom instead of putting it on the top, or
Yeah, of course.
anything like that can just
Almost
destroy
in
it.
their subconscious, they just do it because it's just what you do when you open a deck of cards. Especially if you're a
Yeah.
layperson, I mean, they feel compelled they have to shuffle them or cut them or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the man test that you see on TikTok for anyone who sees it, where you have to pick up the barbecue tongs and like clap it, or you
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
if
yeah,
you pick up a measuring tape, you've got to like extend it or press
And
the
then
drill a few times. That's just
yeah,
how you pick stuff up.
yeah.
If you don't
But if
do
you can't,
that, something bad's gonna happen. It's like those people that feel compulsed to knock 3 times before going through a doorway or something.
yeah. But
We're all the
if you can't start a lawnmower in one pull, you suck.
same.
And there's no
It's
excuse.
more stance move then, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about with the David Blaine thing before we move on to the next bit?
I just think it's like David doing what David does best. So I just think the show is going to be brilliant. It seems to be like he has always like a lot of control of like what he produces, but it just seems like the show he looked like he always wanted to make or something. And I think it's going to be really, really good.
100%. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a real strong show. So I think it's 2025 that's coming out. So
Cool.
just keep an eye out for it, and
You saw it
hopefully
here
we'll all be
first.
watching.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure we'll bring it back up when it comes back on again, so we can go through it then as well and go through everything. That'll be more
100%.
content for What's the Crack, and that's what the most important thing for any magician is to get more content for this show.
Yeah. People start doing better
misbehaving more.
things. We need more content.
That's true.
Absolutely. And talking about misbehaving, will we move on to the next topic?
Go for it.
So the next topic is a bit of drama that happened to Craic Petty. Nothing that he did absolutely there, but it was something that happened to him. He shared it on Facebook. Michael, do you want to go over the background of this?
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it. All I know is, and I feel like this is a very much an American thing, and you guys can correct me if this kind of thing happens in Ireland or in the UK from your experience. But there's something in the US called swatting. That is to like call the police on someone that didn't do anything wrong with the intent of getting people, like police in their riot gear, to show up, bust their door in, and like arrest everybody, and then come to find out later it was all just a big misunderstanding. And it happens more often than I'd like to say it should happen, and it's also pretty dangerous because policing in this country is very much shoot first, ask questions later, and people have gotten killed in these kinds of things. So lucky for Craig and Sarah, and I think the kids were there too. I don't know for sure if the kids were in the room or not,
I'm not sure.
but I know Craig and Sarah both were there. That the police knocked on the door because there was some kind of domestic violence dispute happening, and Craig and Sarah are like, no, like we've just been in, like we're here for like a magic convention, and we're just here, we're having an easy night in, etc., and so on and so forth. And it turns out someone called the police and reported that something was going on. And love Craig or hate Craig, I don't know if there's really an in between. People love him to bits, or they think he's an asshole and he's like the worst thing to happen to magic. I don't really think that there's like an in between when it comes to him, and mostly because of the way he acted early on in his career. Very abrasive, he would rant and rave and, you know, F and blind and all these things about everything in magic. And then there was a whole situation where he put a product on the market that was sort of a ripoff of another product. And he ended up making up with the original creator that did that. He took everything down and it was like a whole thing. He left the magic community for like 8 years or something like that. And then recently came back in during COVID as a way to get Ryland interested in doing these magic videos. He started doing the product reviews and stuff. And then that kind of jump started Magic TV, his new YouTube channel. So the Craic that we see now is very much not the Craic that we had before COVID that was sort of, you know, going mental all the time and all of these things. And so I feel like there's a large population of people that just can't let go of the past and they feel almost like obligated to take him down. And so there's a lot of people that they'll post things online about him or they'll leave nasty comments in the comment section with a fake account that they made so they could stay anonymous. There's a lot of people that will just stir up drama and whatnot, which if you're going to stir up drama, I mean, you're going to stir up drama. But one thing you don't do is things like this, calling the police, making up lies, putting someone potentially in a situation that can be very dangerous. And I don't know if we got a resolution to that or not. Luckily, nothing happened. The police understood Craic is a public figure with a lot of enemies, and this was obviously a prank call to stir up drama. So they're very lucky in that aspect that the response that they got was very level-headed. Because again, like I said, in this country, it's not always the case. They can bust the door in and they come guns drawn, and if you move the wrong way, you know, like you're liable to get shot. So yeah, is there anything that you guys that I didn't mention? Is anything bits of the story that I'm missing? Did I pretty much get?
Yeah, I'm not sure because like I'm not 100% sure. I saw the Facebook posts that Greg put up about it and stuff, and it's just it's one of the things that like you see people in the comments saying and was there is like, lads, it's fucking magic tricks at the end of the day. Like this is insanity that like people can do that sort of stuff, and hopefully whoever did it does get brought to justice for it because it is a crime to make false appeals.
It's a felony in this country. It's a federal crime to do that.
So
is this something that happens?
And everything. So it's ridiculous because someone else could have actually needed the police and they weren't available because they were
exactly.
Well, yeah, you can't waste. You can't waste police time or cops, you know, the guards here and saying you can't waste their time. Like if you call in something fake and it came back that way, they don't see it as like, oh, that's fine, no worries. You know, you will be prosecuted. Like so, I think there's so much begrudgery and so much kind of hate and stuff in the magic community. It's weird. I don't. I'm sure it's in a lot of different industries, but I think when you make it criminal in a sense like that, I think it goes well beyond, you know, a bit of rivalry or jealousy or whatever the fuck is wrong with the person. Because for you to make a claim like that against somebody, you're mentally not well. I mean, there has to be something physically wrong with you to call in a prank like that. Because that's not funny on any level, you know. I'd lose my shit.
If you're trying to take somebody else down, you end up ruining your own life.
Well, yeah, I mean
you now have a felony.
That's what happens. You know, you give somebody enough rope, they'll hang themselves. You know, that's the thing. You know, if somebody wants to go down that path and make a fool of themselves, and then, you know, they're not getting any mileage out of Craic, or maybe they've been annoying him for ages and he didn't know, whatever. Then all of a sudden they jump to, you know, to this extent, and now it's a criminal thing. Why is it worth it? Like, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the drama with Blackpool a few years ago. I'm trying to remember specifically. Man, there's so many things that people.
There's always drama in Blackpool.
But
Blackpool drama, what?
No, but this is a couple years ago. And I know what it was. This was the one where Craic and what's the guy's name from Murphy's? They were fighting about something. They were fighting about Quantum Deck that had just come out.
Oh, there was the Luke Dancy.
Luke Dancy, there you go.
Luke Dancy.
Luke Dancy.
Craic got a tattoo in the end. It's brilliant.
Yes, yes. Craic got a tattoo and everything. And while all that was going on, I don't know whose idea this was, thought it would be a good idea, but they set up a thing where you can send a text message, and whatever the text message was, was displayed overhead.
Right.
And so people could read it. And of course, people were going on and on about different things. But one of the things was that a lot of people were talking really nasty things about Ryland. And it's like, come on, man. Even if you hate Craic like to the core, the boy is like 10 years old, man. Like, what are you doing? Like get a life. Like you're talking crap about a 10-year-old kid that's just doing his own thing. He just wants to be a good magician and that's it. You know, and it's like, you know,
He's a
people,
very, very good fucking magician.
that's the thing too, is like
Yeah.
so many people, oh, Ryland's shit. It's like, is he though? I mean, and this is before he was on like BGT and everything, but it's like, just watch the things that he does. He's not doing like little magic tricks out of like your normal magic kit. Like he's doing worker material at his age. Like he's doing really
I
well.
saw recently. I went up to Drogheda to see. Ryland was over. Craig and Matt and people were there as well, and they were doing a show with Cillian O'Connor. Was on tour, and Ryland was a part of that show, and I went along to see it and support the show. And the stuff he was doing, like both of them for their age, the stuff they're doing is absolutely incredible. But yeah, it's like for anyone to step out on the stage at a stage that size in a theatre and perform is amazing. And the level of tricks that they were doing and stuff was really good, and just showmanship and all that is incredible. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like if you have a problem with someone, just block them and stop looking at them. Like, you know, nobody's being forced. It's very easy to get someone out of your life these days if you're not like living in the same
People like to
vicinity.
hate watch. Like there are people that it's like a compulsion. They're like, I hate this guy. I'm gonna spend 20 hours a week watching his content so I can get angry about him. It's like, what are you doing?
Do it to us. We need the views.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you spend 20 fucking hours working on your magic, you wouldn't be a loser. So
and
it
if you
swings and
spend 20
roundabouts.
hours hate watching our stuff,
Yeah,
just make sure you click. You can even click the unlike button if you want. It still boosts us in the algorithm.
It always reminds me of the stuff about Elvis, you know, when as much people hated Elvis as they did love him. So they started a whole campaign of we hate Elvis. And the guys who made the badges that said we love Elvis and we hate Elvis were all making the same badges. So lovers or haters, whatever.
There you go.
If you can put 20 comments down below telling us how much you hate us, we'd really appreciate it. Really boost the algorithm.
And really obvious stuff, like look how bald Dave is. That kind of shit. That's what we want to see.
Oh shit! When did that happen? Literally, the two of you wearing hats again today. Like, if I had your hair, I would never have it covered.
There you go.
Oh, holy shit! You're definitely winning.
No, I need a cut anyway. It's been long overdue. I'm probably gonna go this week and get a cut.
And our beards are like progressing from Steve to Michael to myself.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, moral of the whole thing. Yeah, moral of the whole thing. Love the guy, hate the guy, whatever. It's like, just if you're gonna talk crap in the comment section, do it from a profile so people know who you are. Don't hide behind an anonymous account, and like reevaluate your life. If you're spending so much time in anger and being upset about something that has nothing to do with you, that will never affect you, never affect anything that you're doing, it's like, I think that you have bigger things to worry about. But definitely don't be dragging innocent people into this sort of situation that don't deserve to be dragged into this. I'm not saying that Craic deserves it, but I mean, if you hate Craic, that's like one thing. But like wives, kids, friends, family members, like don't drag them into your
the police, the police, the services, and yeah, you're wasting your time and other people's time. And also that thing as well of, I mean, we might as well, you know, strike while the iron is hot. If you've got a problem and you put it online, that's one thing. You're hiding behind your keyboard. But if you walk up to me and say it to me, or you walk up to Craic and say it to me, you're going to get a different reaction than, oh, that's okay, like or share or whatever the fuck. You know, it's not going to end well. So like, say what you want, but say it to my face, it's going to be a different story.
Steve's just itching for a fight, man. Steve's ready to go.
Yeah, always.
And on that happy note, we move on to something a bit more positive that we have here, which is talking about what some people think is going to be the trick of the year, and something that people have been talking about at conventions. Like people have seen at Blackpool for a while, other videos at other conventions. Tobias Stossel, probably one of the most like unique creators I think out there. Like his stuff is always so different to what like everything else. It's always
The
a
silhouette
change.
thing.
Yeah,
The
That's
silhouette was
awesome.
really cool.
that was so good.
The camera vanished. That was him too, right? With the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
that-
Optics, wasn't it, or something? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
it really gets like that thing differently. So we're talking about this Liquify by Murphy's Magic.
Boom.
And for people who haven't seen it, it's sort of a trick where you take a ring or something else that's solid, you melt it, and then you restore it back into being a solid, or you take something that's liquid and heat it up and make it solid. Like you can turn moisturizer into a ring or something like that, or melt the ring and then bring it back. So that's the sort of premise of it. I'm sure everyone in the match community has seen the trailer or something at this point because it's been quite out there for quite a while. I have picked it up and they have shown what's in the box already openly on YouTube, like Lloyd's channel and stuff. So I think it's okay to go like, this is what you get, which is great because you get 5 rings and you get 8 gimmicks of all different colors. So you get quite a lot with it. You can get like a gold ring, which is nice. It's not real gold, so you can't pawn it afterwards. It's just pity. And then you get the sort of the gimmick thing that allows you to create the illusion that you've melted it. So that's the sort of stuff you get in there. It's actually quite reasonably priced as well. I think it's about like £50 something, $70. I'm not exactly sure, but people can see it online. But it's just cool to see something like that has been like people have seen on YouTube and like in other like I think Chris Ramsey had videos up of this like a few years ago and stuff.
Yeah,
and see it finally out there and stuff's in there. What your guys' thoughts are on it are as well?
I like that it's not your typical trick. I just like that it's different, and I like that you could apply that to a lot of different effects and make them very unique. And think because when I first saw it and you were telling me about it, I was like, it'd be so good for like a coin bend or even a spoon bend or something where you make it kind of liquefy and then you bring it up and now it's bent or whatever. So that's why I would be thinking of it straight away. But as the visual, just turning it into the ring and it looks like the liquid just forms into the ring, it's perfect and great for social media too. But I'm sure you can do it live and everywhere else. Or maybe I don't know, there's TV rights come with it, but it seems to be like someone's going to do that on TV soon, because if you don't, you're wait. Well, if you have the opportunity to be on TV, obviously, but if you can get the opportunity to do it, I think it's a real good visual right up to the camera. Your face is in the shot as well. It's awesome.
Yeah. It feels like a good transitional piece too. So like maybe someone might be like, do I really want to take a ring and melt it and then like put it back? Like that doesn't sound like something I would do. Like for me, the first thing I thought when I saw it was, I'm already performing Matthew Garrett's Ninja Plus with the rings. How cool would it be to show that solid steel ball, heat it up and be like, oh, like it's melted, right? Let me, like it's a solid steel ball, or turn the ring into the ball, right? So you have like the ring, and be like, here, let me. You see, it's kind of like it's really hot, but if I rub it into a little ball, boom! So now you have that, and then you go into the bit where you melt that onto the ring and pass it out. Like, that's where my mind's going. It's a little moment in between other things that you're doing,
Yeah, it'd be cool as well to actually has a pseudo explanation to be like, oh, this is how I put it on the ring. I can melt a piece of the ring, drop it on, and restore it again. And they're going to want to examine it, but it can be examined, so why not?
Imagine, like showing the gap in like the keyring, and then like melting it, whatever, and then you doing like some kind of ring switch or something, and then passing that out, and now they can examine it. Like that would be cool. Like little things. Think about the magic that you're already doing, and like you can add this in as just a quick little moment, during the routine.
Well, a great example that it's on the instructions with it is like you'd have the gimmick on, and you'd have a ring in your top pocket of your jacket or something, and then you're going into the top pocket and you're like, oh, what is that? Oh my god! Oh, it's a ring, and then you go into your ring routine.
Oh, okay.
It's your way of introducing a ring, especially because like a lot of ring magic stuff, you want a ring that's a little bit bigger than a ring you might actually wear for some stuff and things like that. So that's why like these sort of rings are
a fun thing to do. If there was a white one, Dave, would be like pretend you're chewing gum when you walk up, so you could be like you put it in your pocket while you're talking. Like, oh, that's a stupid thing to do. Now bring it up like it's the gum. and now it's the ring or whatever, and you're done.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I'd love to show you some ring magic, but wait, watch, and then like,
Yeah.
and then boom, ring.
You have that gimmick with the glue where you go like this. And
Yeah.
it looks like you're
Oh,
pouring
yeah.
glue in your hand. So you do that. You pour the glue right here. We don't need this. Do one of those, right? Yeah, you gotta shape it. You just gotta stick your finger. Oh, it kind of makes a mess, but once you get that going, boom, and then you have a ring on your finger now. Like that like there's a lot of really cool different ways you can go with it, I think.
You can go with moisturizer as well, and like as magicians, we should keep our hands like some way moisturized. But you can pour on a bit of moisturizer, show it, and then as you're rubbing it, you actually just rub it into your hand, so it's now gone.
Yeah.
And then you introduce the white gimmick, which showing that it's still there, and then it becomes the ring, and now your hands are clean and you've nothing else. But they actually saw liquid at one point. So
what's the download like that comes with it? Is there a lot of different ideas, and then he kind of leaves it up to you then afterwards?
Yeah, so there's a whole instruction of like how to do it, how to do the move. They teach like the sort of the classic finger switch and that sort of stuff. It's about an hour is the first video, and then there's about 40 minutes in the second video, so it's split into 2 parts. And a lot of it's how to do ring magic, but then there's other examples on how to do it with AirPods or the Apple AirPods. So like you open the thing, and you show, oh my god, they're melted, and then boom, you produce one. And those sort of things is cool. Or things with like you get one in there that's a chocolate flavor. So there's a lot of stuff with like Hershey's Kisses and stuff like that. So you melt the Hershey's Kiss, and then you turn that into a ring. Because there's a brown ring.
I suppose with
ring.
the amount of stuff that comes and the utility of it, then you're going to kind of go, well, it's here. What can I do with it? Whatever I can do this with it, I could do that. And the colors then would determine, I guess, what you could use it for.
Yeah, because like I'm looking at all the ones there, and I'm like the gold. Like I think the chocolate one's great as like an EDC type thing. If you want, like that's something I might throw into my Maverick or something like that, just to like it's always there if I want it. And the ketchup one as well, you could do. You don't get like a red ring for the ketchup one because that's why there's a different thing. But like just like going into the ketchup and be like, oh, that doesn't look right. Like you could do stuff with that and stuff. Or like
you could do like a tone and restored ketchup packet by making it look like it's gooey, and now you restored and it's still a sealed ketchup or whatever.
Yeah, and there's one that kind of looks almost caramelish as well. So you could do something like if you had a caramel, you can melt, like take a fudge or caramel melt. So like those are the ones I see with the EDC, and then the other ones I think I agree with Michael. It's very much a, like transitioning from one trick to another, or like that introduction thing of like, oh, what's that in my pocket? Oh crap, that's after melting. Wait, let's do this now. I have a ring, and then I can just go into my normal ring magic routine.
Cool.
And I from like a mentalism point of view, one thing I like as well is like kind of just playing with perception. It's like it's almost the illusion that it's melting, but really nothing's happened. That sort of stuff I think can be a lot of fun when it too. So it kind of suits different styles, because it's hard sometimes for social media to have like visual mentalism for social media, but with the right presentation, that can be a good visual sort of mentalism-y perception video for social media.
Yeah,
so
like you didn't really see what you just saw, kind of thing.
Yeah, as Steve already kind of mentioned, you can, like, if you're doing fork bending, like liquid metal or something, you can, like, you just gotta, it's kind of messy, but once you get it dried, and then boom, and now it's like been twisted or whatever, there's a lot of cool things you could do with it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of those things I think will be a utility that a lot of people will see, and I'm excited as well. And they mentioned on the download to see what other people actually use it for as well, because like Tobias has his own style, and like there's so many ideas on there for different things and using different objects and stuff, and that's great. But I think it's only beginning for people to really start looking through it. So I'm going to be bringing with me. I have a 2.5-hour flight in 2 days, so I'm gonna bring that with me and just keep practicing because the one thing with it, right, the like difficulty with it is getting the acting believability. It's a bit of sleight of hand, but that you want to get down and like not flash and stuff like that. But the main thing is making sure that it looks like the goo has weight and that like it's like a miming action that you need to get right.
Yeah, it's a choreography you're learning, not necessarily like a sleight of hand. There is sleight of hand involved, but it's like the difference between like the ring thing, like the Garrett Thomas thing where you do this thing and then you do that and it jumps back.
Yeah.
It's like getting that to look good. In theory, just switching your fingers around isn't hard to do. We can all do that. But making it look seamless and making it look real, right?
Because we've all seen it being done so badly, and you're like, you switched your fingers, and it's obvious as day long. But when it's done right, the timing and the angle is a crucial component. But it looks great when you nail it. And I would
remember
imagine.
I had a situation with that where it's like, Joe, the sort of one where you can show like this and it'll jump up to the top finger and then come
Yeah.
back down. I was doing that and I was at a gig and I think there was about 20 tables I had to get around to, and I was doing it at every table. And by about the 15th table, I went to do it and ended up in this position. And I was just like, my hand just completely cramped and I couldn't do it for the rest of the gig. And I was like massaging out my hand, and then even my confidence was gone. I was at home just being like, I don't know, like, I used to do this in my sleep, and now I'm just like shaking my hand and nothing's happening. But I got over it eventually. But I was just like, I think it's just being at a gig, being like, so watch my ring. Never mind. Anyway, it's like a claw came out. It's not good.
The appearing claw trick, nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Coming
So
soon to
that's
Murphy's.
all of the ones that we have to talk about this month, and everything. But I think there's some cool stuff of Magic going on, cool tricks coming out. There's some other cool stuff going along as well. And I think what's great, going back to the David Blaine thing at the start, is every time Magic's on TV, it helps everyone else because got to keep it in the zeitgeist.
You're welcome in Ireland.
But yeah, it's getting it going. It's getting it all going. So yeah.
But you know what? Just saying that though, that recently when I was doing that spoon bend on the 6 o'clock show, if you had that liquid, that little extra bit would just be another moment that you normally don't have. So I think if you do have it and you do some metal bending, I definitely, and not even metal bending, even just a coin bend, I think you could bend like a copper coin with a brown. It doesn't, because it's liquid. It doesn't have to be the exact color.
Like you got caught. With the TV, the story behind that was like, it was like they were like,
yeah,
oh, can you prepare two bits? So me and Steve on the phone were trying to come up with stuff. We was like, oh yeah, that'll work. And then they were like, oh, sit down now and we'll have a chef who's going to do cooking. Then and they're like, oh, by the way, can you bend something, or can you do something with what's on the table? And she's like, I'll try and bend a spoon. But like it was gold cutlery as well, so that's where like having different color gimmicks worked really well.
Yeah. It was great. It was one of those moments, Michael, where the producer's like, we've loads of time. We're in ad break. I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. I was like, get me some cutlery. So he got me a teaspoon and a fork or whatever. And as he handed them to me, the studio manager was like, and we're back in 10, 9, 8. And I'm like, so I was like, yeah, let's do this. So it was as fly as it could be, but it flew. So that's great.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have it, and it's great to have all the gimmicks coming out. So I'm sure next month there'll be more tricks coming up as we can cover some stuff. And if there's anything that people see as well, message us, comment, let us know what the drama is. We can't keep up with it all because we have these weird things called lives that can get in the way. But it's good.
Block them because they're pretty mental.
Yeah, we need to have sources. We need to get our confidential sources who can let us know what's going on, because there might be some mad drama going on in like the German magic scene that we're not aware of, or something in Japan, or even some Canada, wherever, just places we're not. So if people see anything or anything cool, let us know.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody got any final messages before we wrap this one up?
Thank you guys so much again for doing this with me. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, this is a segment that I used to do on my channel a while ago, and I kind of stopped, but I'm like, you know what? I want to pick this back up again, but I don't want it to just be me talking. I want other people's feedback, and what better people to have on than you guys. So thank you for doing this with me. This is a blast. Look forward to many more episodes in the future.
Pleasure, absolutely, man. Pleasure.
We'll be back again at the start of October. So thanks, everyone. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on both channels, Deceive Reality and also on O'Brien Magic. So make sure you check that out. And I guess we'll see them on next month.
See ya.
That's there.